Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a watch launched in 2014, 41 millimeters in platinum and diamond set. This is the Patek Philippe 5271P-001 Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. So take the 5270, add gems, and a lovely black on black dial and calendar combination, and you get this wonderful rare handcraft complication from Patek. So 41 millimeters is the diameter, 12.9 millimeters is the thickness. Lug to lug, it is 49.8 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. So we'll throw this watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Get a good look at it. It's flat, it's flush, it is a dress watch, and the case flank is somewhat tiered and sloped, so a dress cuff will slide up and over it. That said, it's broad across the wrist, so I wouldn't wear it on a wrist much smaller than mine. I think 15 centimeters circumference is the lower limit for this watch. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, large rectangular scale alligator leather, black gloss. We have a profile with a folded edge and a monotone stitch. It's calfskin on the bottom, and you can see this is a brand new Patek factory strap. The condition is perfect. We have removable spring bars using the Patek's pull tab spring bars, so you can quickly remove the strap for cleaning between the lugs or strap swapping. Everything here is carefully considered, which is why we have this invisibly set row of baguette cut diamonds on the matching platinum buckle. You can see the Calatrava cross, the symbol of Patek Philippe. And then internally, it is polished and made of thick gauge platinum, which you can well see right here. Some brands give you white gold clasps on platinum watches. Not here, not at Patek. They do things the right way. I talked about invisible setting, and that's what you get on the bezel. So you can see how the gems are lined end to end, but they're not set in little pincers. That is to say, you can't see little gold grips holding them in place or platinum grips. They are not set the way a wedding ring would be. They sit between the inner and outer rails of the bezel, but against each other, they're completely flush. That is an invisible setting. Now we have diamond paved lug profiles, and you can see how they're tiered from largest to smallest and also cut to fit the aperture of the recess in the lug. Patek grades these diamonds for color and clarity, so there's no color gradient or clarity gradient from gem to gem. The little diamond between the lugs, that's not actually part of the gem setting scheme here. You'll find that on every modern day platinum Patek Philippe, more or less since the turn of the century. And the watch is made of platinum, so it is very heavy. You can also see it's considerably whiter and brighter than white gold. We have little stepped lug profiles. They're fluted on their edge and they're stepped where they join the case, so they're broken out from the case band. You can see the case is somewhat tiered and recessed inboard from its outermost face. That creates the impression of a thinner watch. It's all in high polish, with the exception of the flanks of the chronograph pushers. You can see on the flanks, top and bottom, those are satinated, and there's a little bit of a recess for the crown. The crown has the Calatrava cross. On the dial side, we have a lovely glossy black lacquered base. Note the calendar discs match the dial color. That's not universal on the 5270s. We have a perpetual calendar chronograph. So it can deal with irregular length months. It can deal with leap years. It can deal with a problem that befalls many conventional moon phase watches. The 59-tooth moon phase wheel used on most conventional watchmaking moon phases needs to be reset every 2.5 years or so. This is the 135 tooth wheel, so this only needs to be reset every 122 years or so. So you're good to go. Set it and forget it. Now the watch has a couple of thoughtful details on the dial, including hand finished, polished and faceted applique white gold hour indices, and then one baguette diamond as the index up at 12. Taking a quick look, you see coaxial register for the date as well as the moon phase. Then we have your leap year phase indicator. We have constant seconds. We have chronograph minutes, and yes, it is jumping minutes. Chronograph seconds at center, and then a little day-night indicator to let you know whether you're looking at day-night, that is AM or PM. When you are in the night phase, and that little aperture is all blue, you don't use little pusher correctors on the case flanks to set the calendar. And I'll demonstrate as the watch transits from day to night. We're heading into evening now as we're approaching 7 in the evening. That little aperture turns blue. Again, when it's blue, don't use the pusher adjusters to set the calendar. We have white gold, foy or leaf style hands at center. Turn it all over. Caliber 29-535. You can see it is a large manual wind column wheel lateral clutch manufacturer chronograph caliber. And the watch is a manual wind with a 65-hour power reserve. As with most of the new generation of Patek movements, it does include hacking seconds. The balance is 6-position adjusted. It has a Breguet overcoil hairspring shaped by hand, a feature found on the upscale Patek watches that helps it breathe concentrically and keep any time in any position. So it is a very minimally off-centered mass with the overcoil. So in any position, the hairspring will breathe concentrically and keep even time. Now the movement does include a lateral clutch and a column wheel, and you can see the lateral clutch right under my finger. You see it moves out of contact with the chronograph center wheel, and then it moves back into contact. And when it moves away, there's braking action to stop the chronograph. Now there's a little pawl and pawl wheel that is associated with the minute jumper. We have a black polished cap for the column wheel. It's beautiful, but there was historically a reason for that, as under shock, the horns of the levers and the clutch would not jump out of the crenellated towers of the wheel. That was the original point of capping the column wheel. We have a Patek Philippe Gyromax style free-sprung balance for precision of adjustment as well as durability. All of this pivots on 33 joules, and again, it has a 65-hour manual wind power reserve, water resistant down to 30 meters, and it does have a wonderfully crisp column wheel feel to it. Finishes world class into a higher grade than you'll find on something like a standard 26-330 caliber 215 or 240 micro rotor. All of the chronograph components are steel. They're satinated on their top, mirror beveled on their side. We have Cote de Genève across the brass bridges, which are rhodium plated. We have mirrored beveling on the edge of all those brass bridges. We have black polished screw heads with chamfered slots and chamfered circumference. And as you can see, we have 2 different sizes of engine turned perlage on the base plate with satination across all of the wheels. It is very special. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.